everything's great. It came back. And you can see that shit always breaks Sunday morning or Monday morning, late at night. What we don't know is we don't know the causal event that would knock the system into that particular state.
Something happened with Cardano last night. Seems like there's a lot of confusion, even for Cardano holders. The Cardano community interacted with this tweet in droves. I appreciate Cardano, its community. The whole crypto space can learn from what happened with Cardano last night. So let's talk about it. Did Cardano go down? Is my investment safe? To fully understand why 60% of all ADA nodes went offline the other day, this is a Cardano developer's take. Some of you will be aware of an incident last night at approximately this time between these blocks, which caused approximately 50 to 60% of Cardano nodes to disconnect and restart. This appears to have been triggered by a transient anomaly causing one of two reactions in the ADA node. Some disconnected from a peer, others threw an exception and restarted. I still don't understand what exactly happened. Listen to this 60-second clip, Charles Hoskinson, on what exactly went down over the weekend.
Today is January 23rd, 2023. Just a little bit of a postmortem on the weekend. We had an interesting issue. Let me go ahead and share my screen. If you look over here, a lot of people recognize that the network stalled for about 2 minutes. So everything's great. It came back. And you can see that shit always breaks Sunday morning or Monday morning, late at night, while everybody's sleeping. That's just how things work. And anyway, long and short is that it seems to be a transient issue, and it's probably a combination of a collection of things that happened at the same time, which means that the reproducibility is unlikely. So we pulled a team together Sunday night. It was Sam, Jared, Arno, and myself. And we talked to the SPOs. Marcus Guffler and a few others were willing to come on. And we took a look at all the logs we have. And because we don't have a rolling P cap, we couldn't actually see what the transaction or block that actually caused this trip of the balance R code that was put in for optimization was. We know where the error was called in the program, but it's hard to actually, as digging through, to actually figure out what was the triggering event for that particular issue. But it doesn't seem like it's reproducible.
So Cardano was stalled, and if I'm understanding the problem correctly, such transient issues, even if they were to affect all Cardano nodes, were considered in the design of the Cardano node and consensus. The system behaved exactly as expected. Block production was only briefly impacted, with a portion of the network falling out of sync before the nodes restarted. Therefore, impact was low, akin to the delays that occurred during normal operations and often seen as epoch boundaries. Most nodes automatically recovered, depending on the stake pool operator deployment choice. So the system behaved exactly as expected. Interesting. Let's listen to Charles Hoskinson expand on this.
The good news is Cardano did exactly what it was supposed to do. When a stall occurs, basically the system recovers, it self-heals. So the nodes go back up, and you'll notice, everything's great, and it's back. And that's exactly what we designed the nodes to do. It's not very satisfying because ideally, every time a distributed system has a blip like this or a stall like this, you'd like to know an exact cause. But the problem is that distributed systems sometimes create what are called emergent bugs. So locally, it's not reproducible, but a collection of things create a collective global state that for some reason triggers something, and the system basically stops for some people. So as I said, there's a team working on it. They're looking at it and they're chipping away at it. And we'll do a post-mortem inside the Git issues. And obviously, if there's a bug in either a Haskell library or a bug in the implementation of the balance R, which was put in for optimizing Cardano, then it'll get patched. But the The problem is bugs do require understanding of what triggered them, and that's the thing we're looking for right now, and it's going to take a little bit of time for us to get there. Some cases you can't actually figure these ones out, and they come up once every 5 years, once every 6 years, and you just say, okay, the network recovered, we move on. But sometimes you can, but you never want to drive yourself nuts over it.
Listen, in any distributed system, stuff crashes all the time, and that's okay. Listen why.
In any distributed system, whether it be the Googleplex or Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services, so these massive large-scale systems, stuff crashes all the time. Systems go down all the time for a variety of reasons. It could be hardware failures or software failures, hacking attempts, cosmic rays, all kinds of stuff. There's even a famous cosmic ray issue with Google Bigtable. And that's okay, because the second thing you do when you build a large-scale distributed system is you build it for resilience and self-healing. So when these types of things happen, the system recovers, which is exactly what occurred here. It was really cool to see how the SPOs came together and how quickly they were on top of this, and they're still looking. In fact, it's a race condition. Everybody seems to be looking for it. And I'm really proud of Smog and Andrew Westberg and all the others that just showed up literally moments after this occurred, in the middle of the damn night, and started collecting large amounts of information and trying to debug the issue. So it just shows you how decentralized and resilient Cardano has become.
You give me your thoughts about this whole ordeal in the comment section below. And the final question we need to answer is my investment safe? It's important to remember this.
Transactions were not lost. Blocks were not dropped. No money was lost. The network actually didn't halt. It stalled for a little bit and recovered, but the network was still moving forward. It's still progressing. So it's not like panic calls had to go to exchanges and they say upgrade to this emergency node, or all the consensus people had to get together in Discord and figure out how to kick and restart Cardano. It's self-healed. And that's the point of a decentralized, distributed, resilient system, is it should have this capability to self-heal and rebuild itself in the event that it stalls from a transient event. And, I'm proud that this happened.
Get your tickets to Bitcoin 2023 Miami, May 18th through 20th, Miami Beach this year. Use code Altcoin Daily, 10% off. This is the biggest Bitcoin conference of the year. Ticket prices continue to increase as we get closer to the event. Use code Altcoin Daily, 10% off. Get your tickets now. If you're interested in making money in cryptocurrency, make sure you subscribe to Altcoin Daily. One video every day, keeping you informed on the entire cryptocurrency market. I'll leave you with this, Cardano holders. Will this issue that affected 60% of Cardano nodes, will this issue ever be a problem for Cardano ever again?
This particular issue will never come up again, likely in this format, especially if it's an emergent transient error, and because things are a moving target. When optimizations come in, it may actually recover that part of the code. When Genesis comes in, there's a different operating model. When network upgrades come in, there's a different operating model. Obviously, input endorsers are going to completely change everything. So that's the other part of debugging, is that as you'd like to find something, you may actually just change the code that had the problem and begin with, while you upgrade the module to a different state, and not even know that you fixed the particular bug that the issue is caused with.